Hello! Today we're going to review the key rules and knowledge you need for the Indiana CDL exam. Stay focused, and let's go step by step. What agency issues CDL licenses in Indiana? Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles (BMV). This is the official licensing authority in the state. Let's continue. What is the minimum age for interstate CDL driving in Indiana? 21 years old. Interstate driving follows federal requirements. Next question. What is the minimum age for intrastate CDL driving in Indiana? 18 years old. You may drive within Indiana only at this age. Let's move on. What combination weight requires a Class A CDL in Indiana? Combination vehicles over 26,000 pounds where the towed unit exceeds 10,000 pounds. This applies to tractor-trailer combinations. Next point. What vehicles require a Class B CDL in Indiana? Single vehicles over 26,000 pounds or towing a unit not exceeding 10,000 pounds. These include straight trucks and buses. Continuing. What vehicles require a Class C CDL in Indiana? Vehicles under 26,001 pounds carrying hazmat or designed for 16 or more passengers including the driver. Special cases require this class. Let's keep going. How long is an Indiana Commercial Learner's Permit CLP valid? 180 days, renewable once for another 180 days. You must complete testing within this time frame. Next question. What supervision is required when driving with an Indiana CLP? A CDL holder with proper class and endorsements must sit in the front passenger seat. Supervision is mandatory. Let's continue. What vision standard is required for an Indiana CDL? 20/40 in each eye with or without correction and at least 70 degrees peripheral vision. Clear vision ensures safe driving. Next point. How often must an Indiana CDL holder renew their medical certificate? Every 2 years unless a condition requires more frequent review. Keep your certification current. Next question. What blood pressure level qualifies for a full 2-year medical certificate in Indiana? 140/90 or below. Higher levels may require monitoring. Let's move on. What happens to an Indiana CDL if the medical certificate expires? The CDL is downgraded until a valid certificate is on file. You cannot operate commercially without it. Continuing. What condition disqualifies a driver from a medical certificate in Indiana? Epilepsy not controlled by medication and insulin-dependent diabetes in most cases. These conditions affect safety. Next point. What is the minimum tread depth on front steering axle tires for a CMV? 4/32 of an inch. Steering tires require strong traction. Let's continue. What is the minimum tread depth on all other CMV tires? 2/32 of an inch. All tires must meet safety standards. Next question. What is the maximum single axle weight on Indiana highways? 20,000 pounds. Weight limits protect roadways. Let's move on. What is the maximum tandem axle weight on Indiana highways? 34,000 pounds. These limits are strictly enforced. Continuing. What is the maximum gross vehicle weight on Indiana interstates without a permit? 80,000 pounds. Heavier loads require permits. Next point. What Indiana-specific rule applies to oversized loads on state highways? Oversized loads require an Indiana permit from INDOT and must travel during daylight hours with escort vehicles when required. Always check permit conditions. Let's keep going. What are the 3 parts of total stopping distance? Perception distance, reaction distance, and braking distance. All 3 affect stopping ability. Next question. At 55 miles per hour, how far does a loaded truck travel before stopping? About 390 feet under ideal conditions. Real conditions may increase this. Let's continue. What is the reaction distance at 55 miles per hour? About 60 feet traveled in the 1 second it takes to react. Reaction time matters. Next point. What following distance applies under normal conditions? 1 second per 10 feet of vehicle length plus 1 second over 40 miles per hour. Maintain a safe following gap. Let's move on. What following distance adjustment is needed in bad weather? Double the normal following distance. Extra space is critical. Continuing. What speed reduction is recommended on wet roads? Reduce by 1/3. Wet roads reduce traction. Next question. What speed reduction applies on packed snow? Reduce by 1/2. Snow increases stopping distance. Let's continue. What speed reduction is needed on ice? Reduce by 2/3 or more. Ice is extremely dangerous. Next point. What is hydroplaning and how should a driver respond? Loss of tire contact with road due to water, ease off the accelerator without hard braking. Stay calm and reduce speed. Let's move on. What causes brake fade and how is it prevented? Overheated brakes from continuous downgrade use prevented by low gear selection and controlled braking. Proper technique is key. Continuing. What technique prevents brake fade on Indiana downgrades? Select a low gear before starting and apply brakes in firm controlled intervals. This protects your braking system. Next question. What gear should be selected before a steep downgrade? Same gear used to climb the same grade. This ensures control. Let's continue. What is an escape ramp and when should it be used? A specially built ramp to stop runaway vehicles used immediately if speed cannot be controlled. Use it without hesitation. Next point. What is off-tracking in large vehicles? Rear wheels following a shorter arc than front wheels in a turn. Be mindful during turns. Let's keep going. What is the danger of off-tracking in a right turn? Rear wheels may jump the curb or strike objects that appear clear. Allow extra space. Next question. What is jackknifing and what causes it? Trailer folding against the tractor, typically from locked trailer wheels during hard braking. Avoid sudden braking. Let's continue. How is jackknifing prevented? Avoid sudden hard braking on slippery surfaces and brake smoothly. Control is essential. Next point. What is trailer sway and how is it corrected? Side-to-side trailer movement from speed, wind, or uneven loading corrected by easing off the accelerator. Do not oversteer. Let's move on. What is the tug test when coupling a tractor-trailer? Engaging low gear and gently pulling against the locked kingpin to confirm fifth wheel engagement. Always verify connection. Continuing. What is the correct coupling sequence for a tractor-trailer? Position tractor, align kingpin, connect airlines, raise landing gear, perform tug test and inspect connection. Follow each step carefully. Next question. What is the correct uncoupling order? Lower landing gear, apply trailer brakes, disconnect airlines and electrical chock wheels, then extract tractor. Proper sequence is critical. Let's continue. What are the glad hands on a combination vehicle? Connectors joining service and emergency airlines between tractor and trailer. They control braking airflow. Next point. What happens if the emergency airline disconnects while moving? Trailer brakes apply automatically. This is a safety feature. Let's keep going. What is the trailer hand valve used for? Testing trailer brakes only, never while driving, as it can cause jackknifing. Use only when stationary. Next question. What is the normal air pressure range in a CMV brake system? 100 to 125 psi. Monitor gauges constantly. Let's continue. At what pressure does the low air warning activate? 60 psi. This is a critical warning level. Next point. What is the air loss rate limit with brakes released? No more than 3 psi per minute. Higher loss indicates a leak. Let's move on. What is the air loss rate with brakes applied for a combination vehicle? No more than 6 psi per minute. Check during inspection. Continuing. What are spring brakes in a CMV? Emergency and parking brakes held by air that apply automatically when pressure drops below roughly 20 to 45 psi. They act as a fail-safe. Next question. What brake check is done during the pre-trip inspection? Build air to governor cutoff test warning at 60 psi, verify parking brake and inspect all brake components. Always complete this check. Final point. What are the steps of the CDL pre-trip inspection? Overview: engine compartment, cab, interior lights, front walk around and signal check. Follow a consistent inspection routine. Great work. Keep reviewing.